Welcome back to your home garage. In this video, we're going to review 10 things you should know about your torque wrench. Torque wrenches are a commonplace tool wherever there is a precision process. So considering its widespread use, there remains a number of things that individuals may not know. So here's my top 10 list of items to consider. Let's start with adjusting your torque wrench. Equipment manufacturers will always provide the required torque for any given piece of equipment. So when adjusting your torque wrench, it's important to ensure that these levels are met. So as an example, if we wanted 80 pound-feet of torque, simply turn the dial to the proper measurement. And always adjust the wrench up the scale to the required torque figure to ensure accurate settings. Most torque wrenches are length dependent and feature a marked loading point on the handle, but many people don't use it. For accurate results, most torque wrenches have to be operated with your hand centered over the handle. So we have our torque wrench set to 80 pound-feet of torque. Now the bigger digits on the handle are for fine tuning. So if you want to go to 81 pounds, 82, 83, and so forth, all the way up to the next biggest unit, you're able to do so. Now let's look at locking it in. Because it can be all too easy to accidentally adjust the settings of your wrench during use, so if your torque wrench is fitted with an adjustment lock, you should always apply it before operating the wrench in order to avoid any unintended changes. You also want to make sure that your torque wrench is clean. So try not to get any sort of degreaser or contaminated lubrication onto your torque wrench, because if it happens to make its way into the seals, it can alter your calibration. And for accurate results, one click is enough. Users often allow torque wrenches to click multiple times without even being aware of the additional torque they're applying to the bolts. So operate your torque wrench in a smooth and steady manner, and remember, one click is enough. And how about using your torque wrench to loosen a bolt? Well, try not to. A torque wrench is a specialty tool designed to accurately tighten nuts and bolts to specific levels. So to loosen, use other tools such as a breaker bar, because you don't want to accidentally surpass the maximum torque level and throw your torque wrench out of calibration. And what about adding extension bars to your torque wrench handle? Users should never put a pipe or any other kind of extension onto a torque wrench handle, as doing so can seriously damage the tool and make it inaccurate, never mind the potential safety hazard. And if you need to convert your units of measurement, there are some really convenient apps out there. Because converting torque units can be tricky, but it is a very precise process. To help users calculate units more easily, they can turn to NoBar's Calculator app, available on iOS and Android. Now let's briefly talk about applying a crow's foot type fitting to the torque wrench. Crow's foot type fittings can be applied to the torque wrench square drive, but it will alter the torque. So for guidance with setting those offsets, users can download that NoBar's torque extension app that I just showed you for iOS and Android. And based on the measurement of the offset, it'll display what torque you should actually set your torque wrench to. And how about storing your torque wrench? When you're done using the torque wrench, turn the dial handle back to 0. Because leaving the dial turned to a torque level higher than 0 can throw the calibration off over time. And keep in mind that storing your wrench on a negative number is equally as bad for your torque wrench. And lastly, get your torque wrench calibrated at least once a year. The rule of thumb is that you should calibrate at least once a year or every 50,000 clicks. If you work on cars or bikes every single day, you'll probably reach 50,000 clicks after 8 to 10 months. And if you're a DIY enthusiast, you're unlikely to hit 50,000 clicks before the year's up. And there you have it, 10 simple hints and tips to keep your torque wrench working accurately. And make sure you help to keep this channel going by hitting that like button, sharing this video with a friend, and please comment below as I reply to all. And of course, don't forget to subscribe. And we'll see you next time on your home garage.